What is up guys, Tired here, and welcome to this new character explained video featuring Kimahri from Final Fantasy X. As you guys know, he will be released soon in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global, and I am here to give you guys a quick overview and explanation for this new unit. Please do keep in mind that I will be referring to his JP skills, so the names and description might differ on the global version of the game. I would also want to credit DissidiaDB.com, the site where I get most of the information that I am sharing with you guys in these types of video. So yeah, without further ado, let's start checking out Kimahri's kit. So first, Kimahri is like a jack of trades, master of none type of character. He does all sorts of things, but for me, he doesn't really excel too much in any of them. As you can see, he is a ranged type of attacker, as well as with other dragoon type characters, and he can work as a tank and a debuffer as well. Onto his skill 1, Lancet. It is a ranged brave plus HP attack that moderately restores HP based on the HP damage dealt. HP restored is up to 20% of max HP, and it also grants him his buff, RONSO Straight. This buff, the RONSO Straight, turns his Lancet skill into Lancet and Thrust Kick, which triggers another range, brave plus HP attack at the end of the attack. And it also turns his HP attack command into Jump. This is a range, brave plus HP attack with low action delay. RONSO Straight also raises Kimahri's max brave and attack, as well as raises the party's defense. Equipping his Lancet Extend passive gives the skill Brave Overflow of up to 120% of his max brave, and slightly improves the buffs given by RONSO Straight. A medium defense buff will now be added to RONSO Straight as well. This passive also increases the number of brave hits done by Lancet by 1 and Lancet and Thrust Kick by 2, also increasing their total brave potency. While RONSO Straight is active, Kimahri's brave attack now turns into Brave Attack Plus, which increases the brave hits by 2 and greatly raises the total brave potency. When using Jump, Kimahri gains Brave based on his attack before the Brave hit, and also gains a Brave Overflow of up to 120%. Giving him his 15 CP weapon passive raises the skill 1's Brave potency and improves the effect of RONSO Straight. The HP recovery effect becomes party-wide and converts any excess HP recovered into Brave. So as you can see here, Kimahri provides so much on this skill, as he can provide a party-wide defense buff and also heal, and even Brave Battery due to the excess HP recovery that the skill provides. Onto his skill 2, Mighty Guard. This skill raises the party's brave based on his attack. It also grants the party the HP damage reduction buff for 3 turns. While his RONSO Straight is active, his second skill turns into Mighty Guard and Bad Breath, which triggers it triggers an AoE range, Brave plus HP attack that inflicts the debuff Bad Breath for 3 turns onto his enemies. HP damage dealt by this skill is split among enemies. Enemies inflicted with the debuff Bad Breath receives a penalty on their max Brave and attack, as well as Brave damage every turn. Equipping the Mighty Guard Extend passive basically improves the skill by giving it 2 additional Brave hits, a raise of total Brave potency, and an overflow it gives an overflow of up to 150% of Kimahri's max Brave. His 35 CP weapon passive raises the Brave gain of Mighty Guard and Bad Breath, and improves the HP damage reduction buff and extends its duration. It also raises the Brave potency of Mighty Guard and Bad Breath. The skill now does more Brave damage when the target is a single target and the debuffs are improved. So this skill is where his tank role comes into play. Well, not totally a tank, as I do believe that Kimahri does not provide any taunt type of skill, but because of his HP damage reduction buff, which is not very common, as currently only Porom and Bash has this type of buff. His debuffer role is also shown in this skill with the introduction of his Bad Breath debuff. Giving him his EX weapon Astra Spear enables him to use his EX ability Nova, which is a 3-hit AoE range Brave plus HP attack that deals 100% HP damage to all enemies. Brave damage dealt is also increased when the skill is being used on a single target enemy. Max limit breaking his EX weapon basically improves its overall ability by increasing the Brave damage dealt as well as the skill's recast speed. One notable upgrade though is at 2-3, Nova now inflicts the Total Darkness debuff, which basically is a 100% blind effect. Realizing his EX weapon into Astral Spear Plus drastically improves his stats. At 0-3, Nova now gains a 120% max Brave overflow, as well as at 1-3, it moderately increases Kimahri's max Brave and attack. At 2-3, Kimahri receives his RONSO straight buff for 6 turns at the start of the quest, and his EX gauge will also be max, basically like Kryl and Ishtola's EX plus weapon. At max limit break, his Nova skills tremendously improves by way of Brave potency and max Brave overflow limit. The skill's Brave hits is also increased by 5. Some notable passives: his Crystal 40 Awakening prevents him from being broken when his Brave is at least 50%. His level 50 Crystal Awakening RONSO Stripe Guardian raises the party's max Brave and defense when his RONSO straight buff is active. His buff attack and boost all passive raises the party's max Brave and attack while Kimahri is buffed. And his level 68 Crystal Awakening is his aura that further raises the party's attack and defense. His AA, all attack guard up, again raises the party's attack and defense for 3 turns, and equipping its Extend passive further improves those buff effects. So as you can see, Kimahri can really do everything. He can buff, he can debuff, he can provide battery, and also provide some damage. But the question is he good in doing all of those? Or rather, is he good in doing any of those? And since I don't play the JP server, I cannot give you my own opinion on him. But after a lot of research, some might say that yes, he does his support role very well, but his damage can be lackluster. And to be honest, that is what I think Kimahri's role should be, a support. He might do very well as a support on some dimensions and stages, especially with his clutch blind on his EX weapon. Also, do note that as of the recording of this video, he has received his LD weapon on the JP on the JP server, which I think adds more heal effect from him. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Are you going to pull for Kimahri? Is he one of your favorite Final Fantasy characters? Or maybe you're just going to pull on his banner because you're going to chase after Yuna? I believe both of them will be somewhat or very useful on the upcoming Dimensions and 6 stage. So yeah, let me know on the comments down below, guys. And yeah, with that being said, good luck on your games, and yeah, I will see you on the next video.